Hello, everyone.
I'm trying to get my hat on today.
Yeah, I got to get your hat on straight.
Oh, it's not going to be straight. There's no.
Oh, there we go. Welcome to the 11th day of Elfmas. Can you believe it? We're almost there. We're all very excited.
We're finally almost there.
We're almost there. Wake up, everyone. Okay, it's the elves have been working nonstop, and the lead elves below have been working even more nonstop. And actually, our guest today, Kirby, has been working nonstop as well. So she will amaze you with what she's done. And if you see the list of other things she's done, that's even more amazing. So it's great. But here we are in the 11th day of Elfmas. And the 12th day, the final day of Elfmas, will be tomorrow, Saturday. And our final big reveal of all of the wishes and all the things that happened during Elfmas will be revealed starting at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time or 3 p.m. UTC as part of our regular Saturday Roundup. So we're actually going to be taking over the Saturday Roundup. Megs and Betsy will be there along with us, and maybe a few other special guests. We'll see if we can cajole a few other elves to join us. But for most of tomorrow, we will take over the Roundup and reveal all of the things that have happened. And speaking of that, how many wishes do we have solved so far, Christine?
I have 61 wishes in the solve pile.
61.
I finally went through and cleared them all out.
Wow. And on Discord this morning, people are still saying, "Oh, I saw this."
There's still more. There's still more.
There's still more. So I suspect it'll be the number will be higher than 61 by this time tomorrow when we're.
Oh, Kirby, you're famous.
Kirby's famous.
By the way, comments.
Oh, look in the comments. Okay. We all need a Kirby in our lives. That's nice. So that's great. Well, let's start off today's wish with a little song. On the 11th day of Elfmas, some kind elves gave to me 11 new baptisms. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Christine.
So this is from wish number 20 from Anonymous Paulian. It says, "Dear Santa, I've been very good this year, I promise. If you could find the parents of Franz Klein. Below is the baptismal record of his daughter, my great-grandmother. He is said to have had a large family of his own. This would mean so much, Santa. I promise to leave out cookies and candy."
That's nice. Okay, and I'm just going to edit this. I can't believe I didn't do this before. It's a single kind elf gave to me. Sorry, Kirby. Okay, well, there we go.
Go ahead.
Kirby, go ahead. Do you want to share your screen, and then you can let us know what we. There you go.
Okay. So the wish, when it came in, it had the link to the family search record for his daughter. And so when I went into the record, I found Anna Klein, and I went to her profile. And from there, I don't remember. I did some work on her profile first before I went up to her father, Franz. And immediately when I got to Franz, there were a ton of research hints. And so there were these records that they were suggesting, but they were all attached to other people for other baptismal records. And so what I found, and this happened with my family, and it's why I knew that this happens, my own ancestors that come from Prussia, is that somebody, when they created these baptism records, had created the parents and the child as all new people. And so they would estimate the date of birth based on about 20 years before the child was born. And so the dates might be a little weird, but it was always the same spouse and the same city. And you could see that the dates were pretty similar for those estimated date of birth. And so you end up having to merge and merge and merge. And especially with this one, where there were 11 baptismal records, that's a lot of merges. And so it starts giving you this warning, like, are you sure? And so if you go into the history on all the edits that I did on this profile, you'll see a ton of merges. And it keeps the old profile in there so you can unmerge, or actually it's for the father, but so I started with Franz, and I went up, I found their records, started building out this profile, and found the father. And so it's actually his father, Franz, that I did all these merges. And so you can see all of the different sources I attached, and on these deleted persons, after you do the merge, you can still go back and see what was there. So it's pretty close. A birth of 1819 as opposed to 1820. And the death was pretty similar, and the spouse is the same. And so you can, and especially the birthplace for all of these children is the exact same place, which makes sense. They didn't move a lot back then. And so what I ended up with at the end is we knew the one person, Franz, and then I was able to find 11 baptismal records that added children. And then there's one daughter that I was able to add with a marriage record. And so I ended up with the 13 children. And so there's a ton of resources or sources attached now over on Family Search for this profile. So then it was just a matter of building out the profiles on WikiTree. And not all of them are extremely fruitful. Some of them have more than others. But so now you can see Franz here and all of his siblings and his parents, as well as the children. I did make a note on Willie was born about 20 years after the two that I did have sources for. So I made a note that this one might not be their child and that further research was needed there. But I was also able to find the grandparents of the, person. So beyond the parents, I was able to find the parents of Franz, which was another Franz, and their parents. So I went as far back as I could. And again, just tying those resources on and building it together, I was able to get back to the grandparents of Franz and the parents of Josephina. So they got more than they wished for, I guess you could say. So both pairs of parents for the parents they were looking for, and then the 12 children.
Excellent. That's fantastic, Kirby. That's great. And I like you were. It looks like you did a lot of your sort of pre-work using Family Search, and that's not something. That's not a technique that other elves have showcased this week. So that's excellent seeing that. And did you, when you went from Family Search to WikiTree, did you use the Sorcerer extension or?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I. You go into a research record, and I've got the Sorcerer in here, and I like to use the narrative with citation and just pull it over like that. So a lot of my profiles will be mostly that with, things added where I can, but with these profiles, I kind of stuck to bread and butter, just using this narrative with citation. And that makes the profiles look really clean when you use the Sorcerer. But it is very much the same thing over and over again. So if you wanted to add some spice or flavor, you might have to edit those. But I also use the auto bio in WikiTree when I'm working on the profiles because I think that those are really nice.
That's great. Veg Beauty has deigned us one other pun for the day. So the moral of the story is, if they're not in your records, that you should decline them. Talking about all the merges and the ones that you... Very nice. Thank you. That's great. That's great. That's excellent work. Christine, Kathy, do you want to ask any other questions or make some comments?
Yes. No, I was just wondering if we had heard back from the Wishy at all. If
I have sent her emails and I've sent her a message on Discord, but I haven't heard back from Anonymous Pauline. So
she left a note on the bottom of one of the profiles saying thank you.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
I can't remember which one. It might have been...
Well, there's so many to choose from.
Well, that's good.
That was a note from someone else. I think it's this one. No, I can't find it right now. But yeah, she did leave a note expressing gratitude.
That's nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So Kirby, if you're working on a whole family, adding them on WikiTree, do you add them with just the one source and then go through and do auto bio later? Or do you do auto bio when you're working on that profile, move on to the next one?
So with these ones, like this, I hadn't created the children, all of the siblings until this morning because I realized I hadn't done that. So as I went through them, I created, all the structure up at the top, create the person, and I actually did the auto bio and sources as I went. One thing what I'll do after creating all these children, I go back to the parents so that I can tag the children's name and create those links across profiles. Because when you build the parents first and use the auto bio, you don't get those links. And so I'll go back and I'll do the auto bio, but I'll just cut and paste the name links into what I already have rather than redoing all the citation stuff.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, because that's one of the things I was thinking about when I've used the auto bio. Depending on which direction you go, you get links in one direction but not in the other. So, well, that's smart.
So like rather than using a full auto bio, what I did this morning is you can use the spouse and child details, and then it'll build out just those links right here. And so then I was able to grab these and pull them down into what I had already done.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I take all of those little asterisks and turn them into hashtags, pound signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to turn them into account for numbers also.
You can see how many, because that will turn it into a numbered list, and then you can see how many kids there are.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Dee says thank you also for all of the work on her wish, which we will talk about tomorrow.
That's right. Excellent. Well, thanks for just that little trip in there. I didn't realize under the auto bio that there was that specific one about just the family list. I mean, it's been there, I'm sure, but I haven't used it.
You just can't keep up with all these little tricks that people keep putting into WikiTree.
They keep adding stuff all the time.
Yeah. So that's great.
Sometimes you never know it's there until you click on it and say, oh, this is a new one. What is this? What does this do? Now, because people were asking about a starting date, and I know at the beginning I was saying you can, once you signed up to be an elf, I had put you could look at the wishes and start researching. Do not add anything onto the profiles if you're working on it. Did you do any of the research ahead of time, or were you doing this all once we said the word go?
So I did start on family search as soon as I I jumped down to the Prussian area of the list because I've worked with Prussian profiles before, and I saw a brick wall and I started looking through them and identifying ones that I thought I could do. And I would go out to Family Search immediately and see what was out there first. And so I went and did all the work on Family Search before the start date and had things ready to go. And then as soon as it, I think it was Christmas Eve on the 24th, I went into WikiTree and started building.
Okay. Because I know everyone works a little differently.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear elves sometimes how they work. And thank you for bringing up on Family Search about you'll have the parents in there multiple times and just have the child with just the parents, and you get the warning about the merges, because I spend so much time on Family Search cleaning it up, trying to build the family unit so it's so much easier to bring them over into WikiTree. And sometimes I think some people also do it before connect-a-thons, so that kind of helps them speed up too, so it's easier to add people.
Yeah, well, and I mean, every platform has different value. You know, Family Search is good because it's free and it's got a lot of stuff, but you can't always get everything. So, you know, you end up jumping between Ancestry, Family Search. I just got my Heritage and I'm not very good at it yet, but there can be interesting things there. And then I forgot the newspapers.com. And then for military people, I use Fold. So there's a lot of different things, and it depends on the profile you're working on. You know, my family, I've got tribal records. And so Ancestry has really good indexed U.S. Native American census rolls. Whereas Family Search sometimes has them, but the dates aren't always right. So it's just kind of getting used to knowing which tool to use for which profile. And I don't know what it is about the Prussian ones, if there's just somebody going through and creating profiles for all of those baptismal records as a volunteer, but they always create new parents instead of grabbing existing ones. So I've done a lot of that with my family, having to do those multiple merges for big families. And it can be scary. You don't want to mess anything up.
Right.
And I know that some people, because they think it's so scary, they'll back off, or people give Family Search, Family Tree a bad rep because it is a mess over there, which I completely understand, because I am always helping to try and clean it up. But their wiki is incredible for information. If I'm starting to research in a place and I know nothing about it, that's the first thing I do, is I check the wiki on Family Search to see where I can even find records if they're available for that location during that time. So Family Search is more than just the family tree.
Yeah, the research wiki is amazing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, are Prussian records as detailed as the German and Swiss ones that we saw?
So maybe not that detailed, but yeah, they do have, what I really like is they have both the birth date and the baptismal date, whereas like, some other places it's just the baptismal date, and so you know it's not the birth date, but you end up kind of using it as the birthday because you don't have anything else. So I did appreciate that in these records, the for the children, you could clearly see with the records that the baptismal date was separate than the birth date.
Oh, image not available. Oh.
Yeah, but the birth date is recorded and then the baptism is separate.
Okay, now I want to point out, see how it says the check image availability? That does not necessarily mean the image is unavailable.
Oh, does that mean it could be you have to go to the center?
It means that when I am at the Family Search Center, click on that. Since I'm on their computer, I may be able to see that and pull that up. So this is a good example of something that we may not be able to access at home. someone may say, well, if you're a member, you can see that. Not always, because when I am there for certain things, if I can't pull it up using my account as a non-member, I will have my friend who is a member pull it up. Sometimes they see it. Every once in a while, there may be something that they are not able to see as being an member. It depends on what the contract is that Family Search has with whoever the holder is of the records.
And I've seen two things on the Family Search Facebook page, blog posts. One was that they're upgrading servers, and so some of these images are just temporarily unavailable. And then another one, there's an extension, the Family Search Center Premium content. Apparently now, if you are able to, like, even if you go drive and park in the parking lot and connect to their Wi-Fi for any of their local, I can't remember what they're called, their local, any churches or group, wherever the locations are, you can use this and it will attach you as if you're at a research center, so that you might be able to see it. You'd have to go physically, you'd have to find one of their locations, and then you could use this extension and it would treat you like you were at a research center.
Yeah. So if mine's closed and I don't have the key, I can go sit in the parking lot and connect to their Wi-Fi and pull some of the stuff.
That's nice.
I haven't tried it yet, but
well, it worked in one of Nathan Dylan Goodwin's mystery books, so it has to be true.
They're making changes and stuff, and I've kind of heard whisper of they may have it where you may not be able to do that any longer, that you'd actually have to be in the center to connect, but I don't know how they could prevent it if you're in the parking lot and you can connect.
Well, they'll get coal in their stockings next year if they do that. That's great. So, well, thank you, Kirby, for taking us through that.
I just wanted to remind everybody that
go ahead.
Tonight is the deadline. Well, tonight is the end. You may stop working tonight. You may stop elfing. Tonight is our cutoff. I mean, we're not going to say don't do anymore, but
you're still helping
feel free to put your fingers away from the keyboard.
Away.
We appreciate everybody's work.
Yeah, midnight Eastern time tonight is the official cutoff. So anything after that won't make it necessarily on list or the presentation
we'll
tomorrow.
See how far I can get.
Yeah.
and we have time. I even if we had solved, no matter how many we solve, we only have so much time to sit and talk about all of the things. So I am going to try to get through as many as I can tomorrow, and we'll see how far we get. Yeah. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been so amazing these last 2 weeks. It's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic. It's been wonderful. Yeah.
And so please remember, there's been over 300 wishes and only so many elves this year working on the wishes. And we are trying to at least look at every wish.
Some of them are hard.
Yeah.
That's right.
My wish is particularly hard.
Yeah. So I think with that, we will see all of you tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. UTC. Looking forward to wrapping this up and seeing what happens. And again, yes, any wishes that are solved by midnight, we will be included in the official count and will be mentioned at some point somehow, even if it's a scrolling list. You will get your time in the sun. It might be a short little bit, but anyways. And elves who are on Discord.
D, the Easter Bunny does not grant wishes. D wants to know if the Easter Bunny grants wishes. The Easter Bunny is not working.
Sorry, the Easter Bunny.
Jinx, anything in the free space page that has not been moved down to the solved list has not been looked at. Or it's only been looked at by one elf. If you find anything, feel free to mark it as solved, unsolvable, brickwalled, whichever. Any little flag on there that I will see it and I will move it down.
Mm-hmm.
Secret bunnies.
Down to get, there we go. Secret bunnies. Oh my goodness. These people who so the elves, go check the Discord because there's a message there that I'm hoping some of you will look at in the next hour or so. And that's all.
D, if you and Vicky want to create your own Easter challenge, you go right ahead. We will more than happily support you.
Okay, I got to tell you, as a church organist, Holy Week is not a week I can do any.
No, we're not involved. They can do their own thing.
No, I can't.
We will support them, but we're not being.
Yeah, we can support them from afar, but we got Christmas.
Anyways, thanks everyone. We're getting silly here. We will see you all
on
tomorrow.
Day 11. That's why.
Thanks again, Kirby. Bye, everyone.
Bye.